last week.
Sorry, Jake. Hey, everybody. Welcome into the 815 Sports Podcast, Wild Card Weekend video. We're going to jump through these games a little bit quicker tonight since the playoffs are on tonight. Notre Dame against Penn State. As we jump into the first game here, Jake, we got Chargers at Texans, 3:30 on Saturday. Mason, go ahead.
You know, the Chargers are a better team. I mean, Houston's been sleepwalking, it seems like, through the season.
Yeah.
At least recently, you know, C.J. Stroud, sophomore slump. Chargers they've been playing well under Jim Harbaugh. And I think true road game, you know, even though it's on the road, the Chargers, 2.5-point favorite. I think they're going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree with Mason. I think Houston has a feeble run defense. I think the Chargers like to run the ball a lot, and they're good at running the ball. I think that's going to be the deciding factor in this game. And Herbert, to me, is a better quarterback than Stroud, so that's another win. And I think Harbaugh is a better coach than DeMeco Ryans. So I give them the edge there in those three factors. But I just like LA in this one. I also kind of think LA could, if they win this game, could give Kansas City a really tough shot. We'll talk about that next week. But I got LA too.
I agree with everything you guys said. I think the Chargers are better. Maybe they played a little bit better sound all-around football than who's already talking shit?
Christian Miller.
Motherfucker.
It's got a nice picture of you there, Jake.
But the Texans, like Mason said, have literally been sleepwalking since their hot start. They got off to a really good start, and the Chargers it's kind of reversed. The Chargers got off to like a shaky start. Now they found themselves, but then they kind of played 500 football. So this is going to be a really good football game. But I mean, Houston's at home. I think I'm going to ride with the Texans on this game.
Do you want to know something funny about Houston? Every time they've been in the playoffs, guess when they play?
3:30
Saturday at 3:30. in their entire history for the franchise.
If Lucas was on, he's probably going to be happy with that pick.
Up next, Steelers-Ravens, the night game. Mason, Steelers fan, we'll let you kick it off.
You know, I want to think that they can win this game.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. The way that the Steelers have played the last 4 weeks, you know, 0-4 to finish the season. The Ravens won their last 4 games to
Ravens
win the North.
by 33.
Hey, I mean –
Chargers money line.
You know, it's going to be such an uphill battle because it's on the road. Lamar Jackson's playing at MVP level. Derrick Henry's been running well. Russell Wilson's not playing well. I wish they would go to Justin Fields, but
you got to let Russ cook.
You got to let Russ cook, I guess. But
Steelers country, let's ride.
It's going to have to be, but it doesn't feel good going into this game. I just the spread's 9.5. You know, the fact that they're AFC North and they're familiar with each other, you think the Steelers could cover that, but to win the game, a lot's gonna have to go right.
You got your terrible towel ready?
So you're picking the Ravens?
I am picking the Ravens, yeah.
I agree with that. I'm also going to take the Ravens. It's in Baltimore. I think Baltimore is going to come out and play some of their best football for a few reasons. One, everybody doubts them every time they get to the playoffs. Every year. They say something about how Lamar can't win big games. They're expected to win this game. But I do think it's going to be close because the NFL loves close games. It feels like no matter what game you watch, there's always like, oh, my team could still win it somehow. So I do think it's going to be close, but I do like the Ravens to win.
I don't really, Mason, I don't mean to be rude, but I really don't think – I just don't know how this game – I mean, unless Baltimore, you know, it's a turnover game, unless the weather
is supposed to be a little iffy.
The weather could affect it, but just the way Pittsburgh's played down the stretch, they're limping into the playoffs. Like I feel like I think I told you last week, if there was one more week, I'm not sure Pittsburgh. I'm not sure they'd get in.
Right.
Depending on who the opponent would be, but you know, they got off to a really great start. Then they met the teams they're going to have to beat in the playoffs, and I don't know what they've shown you to think that.
Well, they've shown me absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
but then again, they were. What was their record before they started losing?
10-3.
So I mean,
4-game losing streak. That is
pretty
hurting now to
formidable
go into
team,
the
but I just don't
playoffs
know.
on that. But
I mean, they played the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. So it's not like they were losing to, the bottom feeders, but they still limping in against. They got blown out by those good teams, and they're just limping in, which is not good enough.
yeah, it's tough. I know my team's limping into the playoffs too. As we hop into Broncos Bills on Sunday, if I was going to pick an upset of the week, it'd be the Broncos. But I'm going to pick Buffalo. They're at home. Buffalo's a super tough place to play. A rookie QB against Josh Allen that's playing some of the best ball of his career. He basically has the same stats as Aaron Rodgers this year. If you take a look at the stats, just want to throw that out there. But I do think Denver's going to play tight. I think Buffalo is going to I just think they're going to be able to pull ahead with the run game. And then once there's nothing left in the play, Josh Allen gets out of the pocket, and he's probably going to run for like 20 or 30 yards a few times. And I think he's going to be a one-man wrecking crew in this game. I got Buffalo.
This is going to be a close game, I think, for many reasons, because Bo Nix has been absolutely slinging the ball downfield. And I just feel like this is a game where this might be like a 32-28, 28-24, like kind of a high-scoring back-and-forth game.
Mm-hmm.
And, if Allen starts, last year he was throwing a lot of interceptions. This year he's not. But this could come down to, like, who gets a turnover late or who has the ball last. I just feel like this is – like this out of the three teams that could have got that 7th seed between Denver, Miami, and Cincinnati. They didn't want to see Cincinnati, but I don't think they really wanted to see Denver either. I think they wanted Miami to get in, to be honest. But
I would have too.
Nice.
Hey, if everybody's watching tonight, we do have a meaningful game being played at Hard Rock Stadium tonight.
Sick.
No,
I got Buffalo.
Yeah, I got the Bills too.
Sorry, Jake.
Josh Allen's the difference in this game. He's, Bo Nix has been slinging it right up there in the Rookie of the Year ranks, but Josh Allen's been the MVP.
But out of these 3 games, which one?
Absolutely, this Buffalo-Denver is the most upset-worthy.
I almost feel like this is the most intriguing game, just because sure. I don't think that Pittsburgh can beat Baltimore, but then
Houston, LA is kind of a sleeper.
Kind of a pick-em too. I mean, but this is a very interesting matchup, Denver and Buffalo. Yeah. I think.
But you got Buffalo.
I got Buffalo. Yep.
We hop in the 3:30 game. My Packers. We lost in the Bears Super Bowl. They beat us. Got handed to them. But as we hop into this one on the road in Philly, Philly is one of the toughest places to play. Those fans are completely reckless. I mean, they'll let you have it. Oh, yeah. Banged up Jordan Love, but we are getting some guys back on defense, which is going to be huge. Evan Williams didn't play in week 1. Cooper didn't play a linebacker in week 1, and he was the highest graded rookie linebacker in the league. I mean, he's been phenomenal. It's just going to be important. I think it's important for the Packers to get the lead early.
Get off to a good start.
I think it's important. I mean, if you've noticed, the Packers tend to take the kick like they want to receive in the first half almost every single time. I don't know that I love that, but that's what they like to do. And Matt LaFleur is going to have to call a game of his life because if you just take a look at it from, I don't really want to use experience, but from experience to just players from Barkley to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to the offense and defensive line of Philly. You got Jalen Hurts. If it's 4th and 1, you might as well just go off sides because they're getting it. As much as I want the Packers to win, I want to feel like this is going to be a close game. I think it might be. I'm not going to make a biased pick here. I'm taking Philly.
I got Philadelphia as well, but I want to go back and ask you about what in the fuck is Matt LaFleur doing after you kick a field goal, you get the lead. It was basically inviting. He was inviting the Bears to get into field goals. They were playing back, soft zone.
Very soft.
Just that play that got him into field goal range, those defenders were 15 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
what the fuck was he doing?
The defensive coordinator said today that there was a miscommunication.
Oh, miscommunication. And, then he needs to call a timeout or something.
LaFleur has made some shakeable decisions here lately, and I don't know. He's not really. I don't really like what he's been doing lately. But we're gonna hop in the comments.
What
here.
is Drew shitty?
Christian says none of this AFC talk matters. Tampa Bay
No,
Super Bowl
no,
champs.
no.
Eagles are gonna kill the Packers. They might. 45-17. My dad says that's why his name is LaFlop.
Told you, it's back to being the flop.
Repeat of last year's Dallas game, calling it now. I like it, Schmidt. I like it. They beat the shit out of Dallas.
Where are you
Fly,
been, Drew?
Eagles, fly, Mason says. The only good thing in Philly is a cheesesteak. Part 3, Packers money line. Eagles versus Ravens Super Bowl. I could see it. Caleb owns Caleb does not own the Packers. He
hasn't lost at. He has not lost at.
Look, we're not talking about that this
Lambeau
week.
Field.
We're not talking about it. Mason, go ahead.
The Packers have to play a near perfect game
Yeah.
to win this one. It's Philadelphia is so good at controlling the game. Like their defense gets stops, their offense runs the ball well. They convert on 4th and short. They control the line of scrimmage. It's just so tough to beat the Eagles. You have to play a really sound game in every way.
Mhm.
And they're well coached, and they're at home with those fans. The Packers just have to play a perfect game, and I don't see it happening.
This is gonna be tough.
I still want Josh Jacobs to touch the ball 35 times.
That might
He's gonna
be
have to.
the way the Packers win
He's
this
gonna
game.
have to.
35 times.
Run the ball, run the clock out.
Short dump passes, anything to Josh
Dink and
Jacobs.
doink, dink and doink.
And Bo Melton. Lucas, Bo Melton. Give it to Bo Melton. Sunday night, Commanders, Bucks. You guys already know who I'm taking. I'm rolling with that bad man, Baker Mayfield.
Jesus Christ.
He's the baddest man in the NFL. Washington, I'm sorry, but you're not beating this Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry. You're not. I know his defense is not that good, but the man's playing MVP type football this year. Everybody knows it. They're at home. Give me Tampa. My dad says shake and bake, baby.
So I feel like these are kind of two evenly matched teams.
Mhm.
Okay. I just like both quarterbacks. I just kind of like how both teams have played this year. They've kind of just been sleeping, teams that are sleepers that you don't want to play, and here they meet.
Mm-hmm.
But Tampa Bay's at home, correct? They won the division.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ride with the Bucks, but you can't be confident after
Bucks
what we
by
won.
100? I don't know about that, Christian.
The Bucks last week almost lost to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
The game they had
what?
half.
What's going on? Like, is that team going to show up? Because if that team shows up and Daniel shows up and he's having a decent game, Washington might win. This is going to be a good game.
Look, what you have to do in Tampa is you got to let Baker sling it, and you got to give it to Bucky.
Yeah, they're
Baker,
good.
Bucky,
Tampa's
Mike
good.
Evans. That's
And-
it.
And if I was Philly, I would not want.
Philly?
I think that's who they're going.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what
They
you
would
were
play.
saying here.
I wouldn't want to see them next round.
Christian says relax, Dolphins. Anyways, what were you saying?
Nothing. I'm going. Move on. I guess. Fuck, I don't know.
Oh,
I got Bucks. We all got Bucks in a sweep.
Yeah, Bucky Irving is the X factor here. He really is I think Tampa Bay's offense against Washington's defense is a better matchup than Washington's offense against Tampa Bay's defense.
Commanders Hail Mary for the win.
That's tough on the Bears fans. No,
That was commented by a Bears fan. So
no, I think it's a better matchup overall for Tampa Bay. Like you said, let Baker sling it, give the ball to Bucky. The defense isn't that good, but it doesn't really have to be when Baker's throwing for 403 touchdowns like he has all season. I got the Bucks too. Close game, but I got the Bucks.
I'll just say, when was the last time we've seen Washington win a playoff game?
Well, did they win one in 2020? No, I think they lost to Brady. It was
Yeah,
close.
that was a close
it's been
game.
it's
Taylor
been a
Heineke.
long time.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if Washington, for some odd reason, plays really good and sneaks out of there with the win. It wouldn't shock me.
Did anybody? I mean, if you watch the end of that, like the fourth quarter of that New Orleans Bucks game, Baker Mayfield was making some absolutely incredible throws.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible
The
throws.
touchdown throw to McMillan was legit.
They were also playing the New Orleans Saints.
Riggins was the fullback. I don't know who that is, Dad. That was before my time.
Oh, Friday Night Lights.
The The only relevant franchise in the state of Florida. Oh my
What are you
gosh.
talking about?
Drew, he's talking about the Bucks.
Oh,
The Dolphins are in Florida, Jake. Come on. Cody Dodge said he's quoting Tyreek Hill, I think.
oh, geez.
This is my first time I
You
haven't
guys
been
are
in
all
the playoffs.
assholes.
I just
Every
got to
single
do
one
what's
of you.
best for me and my family. If that's here or wherever the case may be, I'm fit to open
Next
that
time you
door.
guys want to go to an Illini game, you can get bent. How about that?
Monday night in Arizona, the game got moved to Arizona because of the wildfires.
Yeah,
We hope everybody's doing okay in California. It's pretty tragic to see what's going on there. But as we hop into this game, Minnesota, LA Rams. I know that the Rams won the matchup earlier in the season against the Vikings, and I think the NFL would be okay with seeing the Rams play Detroit. I mean, Stafford going back to his old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
But I just think this Vikings team, they kind of got embarrassed last week. I don't think that sits well with teams. And I think that Minnesota is going to go into Arizona now, basically a neutral game. And I think Minnesota gets it done.
Yeah, this for many reasons I was going to take the Rams if it was in LA because they pump up the crowd noise. It would kind of feel like a home game for the Rams, even though Minnesota's probably going to be 70-30 Skol, especially now in Arizona. So I'm going to take Minnesota. How about it though? One of the best teams in the league having to go. That's
Yeah,
what
14
that's
win,
what's
5
fucked
seed.
up about
Yeah.
the NFL playoffs is that your 5-4 matchup is sometimes shit like this. But I'm going to take the Vikings. Oh, Jesus, that mother. You hear that shit out there? Christ.
I am actually going to take the Rams.
I like the
They've
pick.
got
I do.
so Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua.
They can win it all.
Yeah, that's
win it
a
all.
really, really strong core
Yeah.
skill players there.
Right.
That is tough on anybody. I know Minnesota's defense has been playing well. Brian Flores has done a great job. But so think about Minnesota had to go to Detroit, and then they got smoked. Now they got to go out to L.A., and then the game gets moved to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So that's taxing. It really is. And I know, LA is probably dealing with a lot personally, and they got to go to Arizona too, but Minnesota's got to be feeling taxed. And then a 14-win team, they're the 5 seed now. They do all that work to try and win the division and come up short. I'm taking the Rams. That core 4 is really tough to stop.
I do.
It's going to be a really close game, but I got the Rams by a field goal.
I like that pick. I really do. I think if there was an upset to happen this week, I like that one. Denver too. Those are the two that I like as upsets.
And I think I thought Schefter tweeted yesterday, I think it was, that there's been at least one upset in wild card weekend every year.
Mm-hmm.
So
something's
going to happen.
I wouldn't really
it.
consider Chargers Houston an upset, but I do think that's going to happen early.
Yeah, the only reason it would be is because Houston's at home. What's the spread?
I think the Chargers are 1.5 or 2.5.
Wow.
I can't remember.
But so that's wild card weekend.
Yeah, that's all we got. We'll hop in farther next week. We didn't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but my favorite right now is Philly to win it all.
I like Philly too. Philly and Buffalo are my favorites to get to the Super Bowl. Philly's
give me something other than the Chiefs this year.
anybody.
I got Kansas City and Detroit just because you have to go into those places and win. So I'm going to ride with those guys until they lose. But yeah. Hope your teams win.
Everybody enjoy the Notre Dame Penn State game tonight. We'll see you next week.